Welcome to the Leverton on Everything podcast. I'm Leverton, and this is Everything, a 10-minute, I did that wrong, a daily podcast where I, Leverton, review everything in under 10 minutes. And today we're going to talk about Amend the Fight for America from 2021. You remember when Will Smith would actually be asked to do things other than act because he had such a wholesome image? You remember that time? This documentary is from around that time. I give it 5 out of 10 stars. People who need to watch this won't. This documentary is about the 14th Amendment, and the 14th Amendment is the documentary claims that is actually the most important amendment that Americans don't really think about. They are much more concentrated on the First and the Second Amendment, but it's the one that guarantees equal protections under the law for everyone who is living uh, everyone who's living in the United States, and every person born in the United States is a citizen of the United States. It talks about how this whole process came to be. They talk about before the Civil War and things that led up to that. It focuses a great deal on Frederick Douglass, and then it talks about the Reconstruction, and then it talks about Jim Crow laws. Most of the series is focused on the struggle for recognition of African American rights, but then it does do one episode about women's rights, one episode about LGBTQ rights, and then one episode about immigrant rights. I have really conflicting feelings about this documentary because I think people who should watch it aren't going to watch it, and the people who do watch it or who have already watched it already agree with its tenets, and the people who don't agree with the tenets or its thesis won't watch it anyway, so they won't be convinced. Yeah, I mean, it's an admirable thing, but when I watched that, I didn't realize how important that amendment was, actually, because this is the amendment that Donald Trump wants to get rid of. So when he talks about ending birthright citizenship, that's the thing that he wants to um, get rid of, which is crazy because, so a little bit of a digression. Citizenship in the world is usually divided by citizenship by land or citizenship by blood. So if you are born in a country, that's citizenship by land. And so the United States and Canada have this kind of system. But if you're born, for example, in Poland, they have this citizenship by blood. So you can actually be born, excuse me, in you can be born in the United States, but as long as your parents are Polish, you'll be Polish. And in fact, as long as you can prove it, there are people who have been sent to Siberia in the 18th century and come to Poland and said, I'm a citizen because I can prove that my great 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 grandfather was born in Poland. So, I mean, it makes sense for Polish history, but if you get rid of this citizenship by land, you have to go by citizenship by blood. And that's the crazy thing because in Canada, they have citizenship by land, but you also have like citizenship by blood, and it's limited to 2 generations. So, uh, or 1 generation actually. So my children, and I think that they're trying to change this because I think that it was ruled unconstitutional or something. But so basically, at the time I'm recording this, there's a limit to how long that can go. So my children will be citizens, but if of Canada, but if they have children, their children won't be citizens of Canada unless they're actually physically born in Canada. So, if you get rid of citizenship by land in the United States, you'd have this citizenship by blood. So, you'd have people never being born in the United States who would be citizens of the United States, which is now true also, I guess. But yeah, it doesn't make any sense because the whole reason of this amendment was to make slaves citizens. So if you get rid of the amendment, are you going to say like, okay, well, how many generations do we go back till we consider somebody like being born in the United States a real citizen? And I think that's a tricky can of worms, but Trump loves opening tricky cans of worms and, you know, like the most incompetent dictator to be ever. He's just so bad. Why can't you wake up people and see how bad he is? I mean, people do wake up. Yeah, he is like probably holds the record for the most the the record for how many times the most unpopular president can actually be president. Because how did he win that election? I don't know. People are saying that you know, I think it's a lot wishful thinking that they want to think like Americans can't possibly be that dumb. Yeah, Americans can possibly be that dumb. I mean, everybody can be that dumb. People are dumb, man. You're dumb, I'm dumb, we're all dumb. And on that inspiring note, I will leave it there. Thanks for your time. Talk to you later. Bye.